this episode, we're going to be talking about the power of pullback. Now, for most of you traders, you might be familiar with this word, pullback, or perhaps reversal. So many people call it pullback, while many people call it reversal. So there are things to know if you want to trade a reversal point. Now, one of the things to know is this. Number one, you must know what is major trend and the internal trend. Trading pullback is simply you trying to catch the market when it starts reversing. And reversal simply means when the trend is done, the market takes the opposite direction. So this is what we call pullback. So this is what I'm going to be teaching you in this episode. So number one, what you have to do in order to trade this pullback, or in order to master how to trade a pullback, is this. So number one, you need to know what is a major structure. Just like I've said here, we have a major structure. So if you truly want to know when the market is about to pull back, then these things is something you have to know. Okay, we have the major structure and we have also the internal structure. And we also have what we call change of character. Okay, let me just put it extra, right? So we have the major structure and the internal structure and the change of character. So these are the three things you need to know for you to know when the market is about to pull back, and for you to trade and spot pullback like a pro. So first thing first, I'm going to be showing you guys a diagram which is of this nature. So if you look at this diagram, you will know that this is a bearish move to the downside, right? And we have our breakup structure to the downside. So as a trader, what you want to be doing is to trade in line with the downtrend, right? So trading in line with the downtrend, there are things you need to consider, because you don't just jump into a trade starting from here, right? You don't jump into a sell trade starting from there, because as a trader you want to be making a very, very good profit. So now, how do we spot a pullback like a pro? So number one thing is you spotting your major trend, which is this. So this is what we'll call our major trend. All these things are major trend. So you see that they are the major trend are the one playing the key roles in this market, right? So from this major trend, we find a small trend happening inside that major trend, right? So these ones that are happening inside the major trend are what we call an internal structure, or you call them internal trend. So if you want to spot your pullback like a pro, you need to know how or where your major trend is, what it is doing, and you need to know where, you need to also know what your internal trend is doing. Because there are chances that sometimes we might be trading while our major trend is bullish and our internal trend is bearish. So these are things that get people confused, and they don't know exactly where to trade. They don't know if they are to buy, they don't know if they are to sell, and at that point they're confused. So now, how do you get to know when the market is about to pull back? Now let's say you are on a bearish move and you want to know when the market is about to pull back. Then you have to check on this internal trend, because now you know that our major trend is bearish. Now for you to join this move, you will make sure that your internal trend is also going to be bearish, otherwise you might be trading against the trend. So this internal trend, what you have to spot is this. What is the internal trend doing? Then I'll use this dash to say we have this low, right? And we have another low, and we have another low here. So at that point, you know that this internal trend is also going bullish. Now, the only thing that will violate this bullish is if only the internal trend comes to take out this internal low, right? This is when we'll say that the market is about to pull back. Then it's about to align with the major structure. Because now when you look at it now, we are on a bearish move. And with what the market is currently doing here, we are checking to know if the market is about to pull back or if the market is aligning with the major trend, right? So one of the ways for us to understand what the market is doing or when the market is about to pull back is, number one, we have to get to know what our major structure is doing, which is the major trend. Then number two, we need to know what exactly the internal trend is also doing. Now, coming to the internal trend, there are ways we spot our internal trend that it will not be confusing for us. And me, one of the ways I spot my internal trend is this. I'll make sure that I just keep this line visible to know when the markets keep breaking structures and going to the upside. So let's say we are bullish at this moment, right? Of which we are. Then if the market comes to break this zone, at that point, we have what we call a change of character. Now, I told you guys that there are three ways for you to spot a pullback as a pro, like a pro. And one of the ways is to know exactly what your major structure is doing. Then number two, to also know exactly what your internal structure is doing. Then three, to also understand what is change of character. So with this change of character, this is when you know that, okay, this market is about to pull back. So these are the ways you get to know when market is about to pull back, like a pro, so that it will not be something confusing for you anymore to trade from. So when you look at this thing now, you see that nice, our internal trend is bullish, right? Why our major trend is going to the downside. So which one do you get to follow? Are you following the internal trend or are you going to follow the major trend? Definitely we'll be following the internal trend at the moment. You don't use because the market majorly is bearish, then now you want to trade from the internal trend as bearish. No, you don't do it that way, because there are chances that market might come here and still decide to do what? To move more high. So this is what gets many people confused. So now when we apply this change of character is, let's assume that this place is now broken to the downside. Then we can confidently say that the pullback is done. Now we want to go for a major sell, and this major sell will cause us to do what? To place an order here, then maybe probably place our stop loss here, then target these lower parts. Why are we targeting there? Why? Because the market has fully aligned themselves together, so it is not confusing anymore. So then let's move down to our charts, then to find out how we can spot this internal trend. So let's go back to 4 hours. So on 4 hours, we see that the market keep moving to the upside, right? And let me use this zone for example. I think I have to use from here. Okay, let me use this zone for example. So the way we see this trade right now, we can probably say that we are, okay, let's take this. We can probably say that from here we are bearish, right? And because we are bearish, we want to know when this pullback is going to start from here. So how are we going to know? So let's drop to 30 minutes. So dropping to 30 minutes, we notice something. Market keep breaking zones and dropping for a sell, right? Then when you look at here, you see that we have this little break of structure that never broken fully well. So at that point, we have this low, right? So if market wants to change character, we must first of all move out this high. And as soon as we move out this high, then we can probably say that the market is about to pull back. But if the high is not taken out, the market is still on a bearish move. So let's fast forward the market and see what's happened. So we keep selling to the downside, right? And now we keep going high. We came down again and finally went up. So now this is what we call a change of character. Now, why is it a change of character? This high was supposed to hold, right? But now it is not holding and it just aggressively broke that zone. So what it is literally letting you to know is that we have changed direction in the market, which is now what we call a pullback, right? Which is now what we call a change of character. Now, some change of character causes a pullback to start. Now, a pullback is one of the process that the market will start pulling back. Let's say you're on a bearish move, then the market wants to correct itself. It goes to a certain point before the pullback is done. Now, the way you can know if your pullback is done is you knowing and understanding your internal structure. Okay, this is what we call an internal structure. This is not the major structure. Now, when you look at the internal structure, you see that this is where we have our major zone, which is here, right? Yeah, because the market can trend to some certain set of points somewhere like this and decide to sell. It is possible. So at this point, this is just our internal structure, and our internal structure is about to pull back from this zone, maybe probably towards this zone before we start selling off. Otherwise, we'll keep buying. So let's see what happened next. Now, we are about to pull back. After the pullback is done, there is something we want to be seeing again before we probably say that our pullback is done. Because you cannot just trade in because you know that the major trend is bearish, then you start jumping into all sales you see. No, you must wait for the internal structure to align with the major structure. So let's fast forward and see what happens next. Okay, now what I'll be doing is this. I'll be showing you guys how I spot my own. This is how I spot mine, so that I will get to know properly what the market is doing. So at this point, I'm just spotting where all my lows are. Here is my current low I'm seeing. So if the market violates that place, then I know that we're about to sell off. Okay, so it violated the place. I think this is part of this, so we have to take this as our low, as our current low, because this one, nothing was able to happen. So for the fact that the market did not come down there, then there is a possibility that we might go up. So let's see. Okay, so you see, we keep moving to the upside, breaking zones. Then this is our current low, right? Yeah. So let's move ahead. So you see what the market is doing with that side. So the market aggressively broke here. Okay, then before breaking there, you see what it has just done here. It also did something here, and we aggressively break. So for most of you that might be searching, maybe you reached at this level, then you might be saying, okay, because the market is around here, then we have to be selling. You know, some people just aggressively place a sell order around that zone. You see, you're not mistaken for placing a sell order here. Why? Because the market is bearish. You are not doing the wrong thing, and you target here, right? But the truth of the matter is this: if this low is not taken out because this is where they will get you confused. This is a low. Okay, so if this low is not taken out, I'm not searching for anything like sell. Why? Because this low have to be taken out before I will start searching for sell. So you see what the market did. It came down there. It did not even come down fully well. Then it aggressively broke and started going up. So as a trader, if you want to know when the pullback is done, there are 3 ways to know it, which is the one I've said already. You need to know your major trend, you need to know your internal trend, and you need to understand your change of characters. So if truly you want to know how to spot all these things, I'm going to be discussing these things one after the other. Like, I'll be discussing about major trend, how to know your major trend, and I'll be discussing about internal trends, how to also spot your internal trend, and I'll be talking about change of character specifically on their own, so that you understand these things properly and utilize it on your trading journey. Yeah. So please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel, while I keep giving you guys some necessarily information that forex traders needs to get, so that it will help you in your trading journey as well. Remember this. I love you all. Bye.